Hi YouTube fam, thank you for joining me today. My name is Gina Marie Bova, and this is where I like to come to discuss solved and unsolved true crime cases, true crime facts and stats, and missing person cases that I don't feel have gotten enough attention from mainstream media. If you're interested in everything true crime, then you have definitely come to the right place. I hope you will choose to subscribe to this channel, and if you click that little bell next to the subscribe button, YouTube will notify you whenever I upload new content. I hope today's audio will be a little bit better. I'm trying something new, so let's just see how it goes. Play it by ear. Also, a quick warning before we get started. The videos on my channel are intended for mature audiences only. They are not for children or for those with weak stomachs. My language is never censored, and I do not sugarcoat things. I give gruesome details, and I show photos at my discretion. These stories I know are hard to hear because they are every bit as hard to tell. And even though some of these cases have even brought me to tears, I do choose to tell them anyways because evil does not go away even if we bury our heads in the sand. So today I'm going to be filming a two-part video, but don't worry, both parts are in the same video. The first part's going to be a short information-filled segment, and then we will get into the specific case of the sad and tragic life and death of 10-year-old Victoria Martens. So let's get started. Okay, New Mexico. Quick rundown. The state capital is Santa Fe, which happens to be the oldest capital in the United States. It was founded in 1610 as the government seat of Nuevo Mexico in what was then New Spain. The largest city in New Mexico is Albuquerque, which was founded in 1706. And on January 6, 1912, New Mexico was the 47th state admitted into the Union. Now for the grimy side of New Mexico. In 2010, New Mexico was ranked second in the nation per capita for deaths caused by child abuse. That year, there were 19 deaths of children that were caused by abuse. In 2011, they were 8th in the nation with 15 deaths. And here are just 4 examples of deaths from 2013. That January, police charged 21-year-old June Ortega with child abuse resulting in death. In the death of her infant daughter, doctors said that the girl had been hit repeatedly with a hammer-like object upside of her head. The next month, February 2013, sheriff deputies arrested Nicholas Grijalva, 30 years old, of Mimbres, in the beating death of his girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter. The injury was first reported as caused by a fall. That's what they told the 911 operators and the first responders. But the trauma doctor said that the little girl had various stages of bruising on her body that were not consistent with a fall of any kind. In March 2013, a 4-month-old boy died of blunt force injuries to his head, allegedly at the hands of his 20-year-old father, Luke Westphal of Albuquerque. The boy's father told the police that he found the boy limp and not breathing after he put the child in his crib to sleep. He was charged with child abuse resulting in death. The baby had been beaten and shaken until he died. So yeah, he may have found him not breathing and limp, but that's because he abused him before he put him into his crib. And that following April, an 18-year-old mother was charged with child abuse in the death of her 11-month-old son, who suffered 2 skull fractures, 4 broken ribs, a broken arm, and he had a bunch of other injuries that were at various stages of healing, which means he, in his little 11 months, had been abused more than just that one night, just multiple times. He had a horrific life. And that's just the first 4 months of 2013. Okay, the maltreatment rate in New Mexico stood at 16.9 per children per 1,000 in 2019, which was the 6th highest in the nation and well above the national average of 8.9. New Mexico has the 2nd highest percentage of children suffering from repeat maltreatment in the nation. In 2019, about 12% of the state's children who were victims of maltreatment had another case of maltreatment within 6 months, which is higher than every other state except for New York. What is happening over there in New Mexico? Y'all must do better. Great that people are going to prison after they abuse and murder their children. How about protection services not dropping the fucking ball? How about neighbors, friends, family not turning a blind eye to what's going on, not worrying about being a snitch, not hoping somebody else will say something? Somebody is seeing something. Somebody hears the crying. These kids deserve people to stand up for them and help them while they are still alive instead of just coming together to light candles and put little teddy bears on makeshift memorials after the child has been murdered. Do better. Okay, so today's story is going to be about Victoria Martens, like I said earlier, and her tragic and brutal life and death. This one's a little triggering for me, but story needs to be told, right? So, okay. She was 9 years old. She was in 4th grade. She loved gymnastics, and she was actually quite good at it. She loved going swimming. Her favorite color was purple. She loved her church and going to church and Sunday school when she was allowed to go. She ended up being killed on her 10th birthday, but the abuse started long before that. Her mother, if you can call her that, is a real piece of shit. She was 35 years old, Michelle Martens. Her short-term, very short-term boyfriend, Fabian Gonzalez, who was 31. And Gonzalez's cousin, Jessica Kelly, who just 4 days before had gotten out of prison for what I am not quite sure. Those three had been charged with multiple different charges relating to Victoria's death. The majority of those charges were dropped. And the reason for that is because egg donor, Michelle Martens, bullshitted the cops from the get-go. Just from the very beginning, she was just telling one story after another. Now, every time she told the story to whoever was asking, the story changed. But the gist of it stayed the same. And so she did get eventually charged with some child abuse charges. However, the murder and rape charges were all dropped in this case, and I will explain that in more detail later. But her story to the police was basically, she said that she liked to go online, different dating sites like I don't know, Match and Plenty of Fish and stuff like that. And she would find these guys and she'd talk to them for a little bit and then let them know that she wanted them to come on over, and a lot of them did, to have sex with her children. Victoria had a sibling, and I will not be going into details about the sibling because hopefully the sibling is living his or her best life right now with people who care about him or her, and I'm going to leave it at that. So she had 2 children, and she would have these strange men coming over and having sex, raping her children while she watched, because she got sexual gratification from watching. And then she would have sex with them afterwards, because she was super turned on by seeing people rape her children. So saying mother just blows my mind that she would even still consider herself to be a mother, crying for her daughter on TV and so forth. Makes me want to vomit seeing that. But anyways, she told police that she would have these people come over and rape her children, and that the night of the murder, her and her boyfriend and her boyfriend's cousin, Kelly, Jessica Kelly, all were there, and that they fed Victoria, whose 10th birthday it was, alcohol and methamphetamines to calm her down so that her boyfriend, Gonzalez, could rape Victoria, and then that she herself, the mother, had sex with her boyfriend 20 minutes later. And it came out later that with the autopsy that she did not have any drugs in her system. She did, however, have alcohol in her system. It also came out, though, that both the mother and her boyfriend were not at home when Victoria was murdered. Phone records proved that they were elsewhere. DNA was of a 4th perpetrator. A man's DNA was found in and on the 10-year-old little girl, and this person has not yet been identified. So all murder and rape charges were dropped against all 3 of them. They were all dismissed, But Victoria's mom did face child abuse charges, and I believe she's still going through court for that. But also some kind of charges for misleading the police and giving false statements and impeding an investigation, whatever the charge. I'm not sure the exact charge, but relating to that. But this isn't the first time that poor Victoria had been raped, because also in the autopsy, it showed that she had a sexually transmitted disease. And so that didn't happen when she was killed. Apparently, according to the mother, if you can believe anything this bitch says, usually people try to minimize, so I'm thinking she may have lied and implicated herself and her boyfriend more than herself, by the way, to protect somebody else, either that she's afraid of or that she cares about. They all know who did this, but nobody's talking. There's a reason for that. Either they're afraid of him or they care about him, and obviously care about a lot of things more than this little girl. She would go online, find these guys, bring them home, and let them rape her children. That should be enough to have her locked away forever, but apparently it is not. How unfortunate. I wish I was in the jail as an inmate, wherever they put her. But I will say, if you look at her pictures, you will see that somebody in the jail heard about what she had done. She got her ass whooped. And apparently so did her boyfriend. So it's not really justice, but it still makes me smile a little to see the stitches on her face, because in comparison to what her little girl went through, she had it easy. So, okay. Some things are going to be a little bit confusing because the information that I acquired online was confusing for me. And, my MS is kicked in a little bit today. Sometimes when my MS starts, I call it kicking in, my brain and my mouth seem detached. Like I have a hard time getting what's in my brain to come out of my mouth correctly. So I may be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to do my very best, okay? Those of you who have watched me on previous videos know that I have good days and I have bad days, but I'm not letting MS stop me. And so I am going to continue. The show must go on. So they had been charged. Their trial had begun. And then the DNA results came back and phone records came back, and it proved the mother a lying bitch, which could you expect any less from somebody who would have their children raped so that she could watch and get off sexually gratified from watching their children being tortured. I don't know why they thought she was going to be the pillar of the community or somebody that could be well trusted, but apparently they believed her because she implicated herself as well. And so they thought she must be telling the truth. It doesn't matter that every time she told the story, it changed, but the gist of it stayed the same. She'd find men, she'd bring them home, have them rape her kid, and be turned on by that. Apparently, the trial had already gotten into gear before it was figured out that she was completely full of shit. And so one of the first to testify was the forensic pathologist, and her name was Dr. Rebecca Kendrick. And she had been the one that performed the autopsy on August 25th and August 26th of 2016, which is the 26th is 2 days after Victoria was murdered. The doctor noted that Victoria's body was dismembered. Her heart, liver, and arms were found in separate bags inside of the apartment, away from her body, which was found by a police officer in a bathtub the morning of August 24th. So I guess it was the 23rd was her birthday. My bad. I'm sorry. The 23rd was her birthday. She was found very early in the morning on the 24th. And the reason she was found is because neighbors called the police because of a domestic They thought there was a domestic. There was screaming and yelling and so forth. So they called the cops. The cops show up. When they showed up, they went inside. They found smoke coming from underneath the door of one of the bedrooms. When they walked into the bedroom, they seen body parts in a blanket, partially wrapped with a blanket. That blanket was on fire. They were attempting to burn the body. Some of her organs were removed from the body and in a separate bag. So it was a whole mess. Her arms had been cut off. She had been dismembered. They were attempting to hide the crime in the body and were busted. So anyways, the doctor recalled that an official examination of the little girl's body showed that there were bruises and abrasions and fractures found all over her body, especially when it came to the neck, that she had been murdered by being strangled. Abrasions on the left side of the neck, some red there, also some bruises, scratches and bruises, which are always concerning. They were on the left hand side of the neck, she said. A further report also showed that no drugs were found in her system, like I had said. The doctor initially asked for a toxicology report to uncover the finding because there was a lack of blood at the scene that was collected. So she instead had to resort to tissue examinations. Okay, so she did find that there was alcohol in her system, but she found no evidence of any kind of methamphetamines. She also looked into signs of possible sexual abuse. She said she found chronic inflammation on Victoria's lower regions, including the anal and vaginal areas. If you're interested in reading the entire autopsy report, there's a link on the screen. I will also leave the link for you in the description of this video. I found it on scribd.com after it had been released to the public. It is not fun reading, but it gives you the complete autopsy result. Every single test that she did, step by step. It gives her notes and citations as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and add that into the description box for you. I just cannot bring myself at this moment to go over every single injury that she had. However, she was found to have had this sexually transmitted disease. And even admittedly from the mother and others, she had been sexually assaulted on more than one occasion. According to the cousin that was there, Kelly, she stated to the police that she didn't do it, that she was babysitting because Victoria's mother and mother's boyfriend left to go get drugs. And while she was gone, and she was high, by the way, the cousin was high on methamphetamines and was feeling extremely paranoid and just bouncing off the walls. And apparently, according to her, which I think the story is a bunch of bullshit, but a strange man walked in, went into the room, raped poor Victoria, and then strangled her to death. He came out of the room and told Kelly to clean up the mess, and then left. There's no fucking way. She said she was scared for her own life, that he had threatened her family, and so forth. If it's just some strange guy, he wouldn't have known that she didn't live there, that she wasn't the kid's mom, that she had a separate family. He wouldn't have known that. So the story does not have a whole lot of truth in it at all, as far as I'm concerned. What I think happened is there was the fourth person that nobody wants to name who was there, and while mom and boyfriend had left, and the little girl had been drinking, or forced alcohol, I should say, was probably passed out. Hopefully she was passed out, but for whatever reason, after he was done, he strangled her. He basically crushed her throat. That poor baby. I think all three of them know who the man was. I don't think some stranger off the street just knew which house to come into, knew about Kelly's other family. None of it rings true, okay? But he did leave his DNA behind. So there is that one little piece of good news. So whoever killed little Victoria is still a mystery to those who were not there. But his days hopefully are numbered because DNA was collected and the douchebag waste of fucking space that raped and murdered Victoria will hopefully be identified and caught soon. Mom knows. Her boyfriend knows. The cousin fucking knows. Sometimes I wish that this country were as medieval as fuck. Okay? I wish that we could torture these pieces of shit until they told what they knew. But unfortunately, that's not how it works here. And I guess it's a good thing because if it did work that way here, yeah, it'd be great in instances like this. However, it would be a power that the authorities would misuse like they misuse so many other powers that they have and even some that they do not have. But anyways, unfortunately, we cannot do these things. I think the mom should have never been able to plead anything. Her job is to take care of her children, to protect her children. Meanwhile, she did everything and anything but that. Every man that she ever fucking brought home that ever touched that little girl and her sibling for her mother's sexual pleasure and their own should also be put down. That's just my opinion. Anybody who'd be willing to do these things to little kids should either be immediately put down or fucking tortured first. What you do is you take these monsters, you throw them into the cell with the biggest, baddest, hating motherfucker in the prisons. Fuck PC, they don't deserve protection. And you just let the prisoners do to these pieces of shit what these pieces of shit did to those babies. That's how I would want those babies to get what semblance of justice there might be. You know what else I would want? I would want, and I said this in the beginning, for people who know things, like, you hear your neighbors, okay, when you're in apartments. So many of these instances that I talk about happen in like apartment buildings. Don't tell me you don't fucking hear those kids screaming in pain. Don't tell me you don't hear them. You don't see the men coming in and out and in and out. And you don't see these little kids walking around with their fucking bruises and their family members and their friends that come over and visit. They see things. They hear things and they know fucking things. You got bruised and beaten and battered children, and they just turn their blind eye to these children. Nobody helps them. These motherfuckers should be held responsible too. But the parents that are supposed to protect you and instead feed you to the wolves because they are one of the wolves, if they ever do get let out, they should be completely sterilized and never allowed to be around anybody else's children, let alone have any more of their own. These cases so piss me off, and they make me so mad to a point that I really have no words. I mean, I know I have a lot of words, but I don't have the right words to explain or describe the kind of pissed off that these stories make me. You know what's going on out there. If you know what's going on next door, at a family or friend's house, say something. Do something. Don't worry about being a fucking snitch. Don't fucking think that somebody else is going to tell them so that you don't have to put your nose into it. Like it's none of your business, so don't say anything. It is your fucking business. As soon as you know it's your fucking business, okay? The reason that I tell these stories, even though they piss me off to this extreme, is so that people know what's going on out there. To give just a little bit of a voice to the victims. Make people aware that this shit is happening. Let them be more vigilant. Don't keep their mouths shut and hope somebody else is going to tell the story. Don't be one of those who said nothing and knew nothing, but you're on the corner placing a little teddy bear and lighting a candle and singing Kumbaya with the neighbors missing this little angel, which may be true. I'm not bashing people who are putting up visuals because that is also getting that story out there, and it is also bringing awareness to the cases that are happening. But wouldn't it be better to tell a little child how much you care about them while they're still alive? If you know something, if you don't know something, these vigils are a great thing. But how many of those people that are placing those fucking teddy bears down on the corner or outside of a house or at a gravesite knew what was going on and did fucking nothing? Keep your fucking teddy bears, okay? The kid needed you when he was alive or she was alive, not after. It's the right thing to do. say something. Okay, my rant is over for now. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as you possibly can with stories like this. And if you know any more information that I wasn't able to find on this case, please tell me in the description box. Because I would love to hear it. If you have any other comments on this case or anything to say, please put it down in the comments. I would love to have a discussion with you. If you could think of any other ways that we could be helping these children, I would love to brainstorm with you. Maybe we could figure something out. Till then, I just will keep telling these stories until my brain explodes. I love you guys. Thank you for staying till the very end. I appreciate you. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit like. I know it's hard to like stories like this, but it helps the channel grow. So I'm going to ask that you do, please. And if you want to share this with one of your true crime junkie friends, I would appreciate that too. I'll be back in the next couple of days because I'm working on another story right now. And in the next day or two, I will be putting that out there. And we will be talking crime again real soon. Till then, y'all stay safe out there.